The idea behind the podcast is I want you to be able to say whatever you want. So if there's anything that you need to get off your chest or anything that tends to come up, by all means, feel free to hide your name. I have no problem doing so. I understand that people might listen and get the wrong idea about you, especially where I live. I don't know
Yeah,
about
well, I
you.
don't really give a shit how people think about me.
Fantastic, man. See, that's the attitude to have, folks. That's the way to look at it right there. See, that's the kind of gold nugget that I like to capture My name is Miles. Your name is Michael. This is the Questionable Content Podcast. Michael, forgive me, man. I'm going to butcher your last name if I don't ask you how to pronounce it. How do you pronounce your last name?
Bourgeois.
That's it. Okay, see, I'm a bad Louisianian. So anyway, man,
I guess I am too, because I never really caught on with the whole Louisianian thing.
I know, man. I'm a bad what do you call it? I'm also a very bad citizen. I just don't I'm a horrible citizen.
Yeah,
But
I'm
yeah,
one of
so
those.
what I was always fascinated, or how I met you rather, is we used to do, or I used to do help desk work,
Yep.
and I was a senior engineer for a little while at this managed services company, and I wound up being stationed over there where you are, and you worked in the school as a tech repair or repair tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Always fun.
I don't know. There was just lots of interesting conversations, and next thing I know, when I talk to you, you're living in Colorado, and there's a very interesting story about how you got there. But I've always been fascinated about Colorado, so my primary question to you is, what the fuck is Colorado like for us dreamers on the outside? Going, I wish I could move to Colorado.
It is fucking awesome.
Is it really that good?
It's it has its downsides to it, but for the most part, it's fucking awesome.
All right, so I've heard that it's like it's really crowded, or it's
It
getting
is
crowded.
getting that way. Yeah, I hear a lot from the locals here about how the traffic has increased exponentially, and you can definitely tell there's a lot of traffic here now.
So it's Baton Rouge basically because our traffic is shit.
So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, man. That's So I mean, but paint me a picture. What's it like? I guess I want to know what is the attitude in Colorado? What's it feel like?
Uh, Kind of laid back. It's they got a very laid back vibe here. Not as much as Louisiana laid back, but it's pretty laid back. Um, it's very beautiful here, incredibly beautiful here.
Yeah.
It's worth it. Just wake up every day and get ready to go to work and look over and see these beautiful freaking mountains out there. And that's amazing. I love that every morning.
So what do you mean like not as laid back as Louisiana? I would think a state where pot was legal would be more laid back.
Well, they're laid back, but they also give a shit around here.
Right. Oh, okay. So you mean they're rational, decent human beings? Okay,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
got it. So they
Well,
make sense. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
no, I mean, you got your assholes everywhere you go, but
That's true.
for the most part, it's pretty nice out here. I'm loving it. Definitely worth the trip.
Yeah, I want to do it, man. But so I guess besides your I mean, what drove you to Colorado? What's the reason? What's the purpose? Was it just that, hey, pot's legal, let's go? What's the idea behind Colorado, man?
That's definitely an incentive. But I've kind of always liked Colorado. I've always enjoyed the mountains.
Yeah,
I've only got to see them maybe once when I was like 16 years old on a trip to Tennessee, and I really, really enjoyed being out there. Um,
that's my idea as well.
yeah. Uh,
Unfortunately,
I was also trying to find a good paying job
yeah.
that's kind of hard to do in Louisiana, especially in the IT field, which I know you know.
Yes.
So, found out that Colorado is actually the fifth largest so far in IT jobs in the nation.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, came out here to try my luck.
So, I guess my one of the more interesting. You were homeless at one point. Like, what was the process for you moving to from here in Louisiana in literally bumfuck nowhere? Like, if Baton Rouge isn't a place, this place doesn't exist at all. Like, yeah. So anyway, so
Oh,
you literally came from bumfuck nowhere to Colorado.
yeah.
What was the process, man? I know a little bit about your story, but I gotta know some juicy details, man. That sounds like a fascinating journey. What was that like?
Well, I lost a job that I was at with that I worked with you at I guess we'd call it a high school because it was fucking high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost the place where I was living at the time, and talked with my girlfriend. So we went ahead and decided that I was gonna go ahead and move in together with her. So from that point on, I started doing artwork online because couldn't find a job at all in the area where I was living at.
Right.
And things were going well for a certain amount of time, and then me and my girl kind of got into some kind of relationship issues, which happens.
Yeah, it happens everywhere, man.
Yeah, well, things weren't getting any better, and her
Been there.
mom owned the place where she lived, so she didn't like that we were fighting, so I got kicked out.
Yeah.
That was in January of last year, and I was pretty much living in my car, sleeping in a Walmart parking lot, till my tax returns came in about February, and decided that fuck this place, I'm not getting anywhere in here, just might as well pack whatever I can in my car and head the fuck over to Colorado. So that's what I did.
That sounds awesome, man. I know to some people that may sound horrible, but to me that sounds amazing. That sounds like a hell of a trip.
Yeah, it
Like, are
definitely
you glad you
was.
did it? I mean, in the
Oh,
moment, it probably sucked
fuck yeah.
dick, but
No. But yeah, hell yeah, I'm glad. I hated living in Louisiana. I never could get ahead in Louisiana.
yeah.
It's so hard to get ahead in
Oh,
Louisiana.
it's not all that hard if you can be a lying, completely two-faced person, which is
Yeah,
something I
yeah.
struggle with on a daily basis.
Oh yeah, you can get into politics with that.
Well, not just politics, but even in organizations here, it's all who you know and how you react to them. And if you can
Oh yeah,
put on the nice face and pretend to be this prim and proper nice Southern Christian boy, you can get pretty far.
yeah, you can.
But if you refuse to do any of that shit, it's very, very difficult to get far.
Yeah, that's too much fucking effort for me. I can't put on that many masks.
Well, I've done it, and I'm growing more and more tired of it the older I get, man.
That I understand.
Hence, like this show, like there's some things that have been said in previous episodes and along this show that could probably get me in trouble with some of the powers that be at work, but I just don't care.
Yeah, there you go, man. That's not you gotta have. You feel better like that way.
Exactly. I'm just honest. I mean, I have to
Yeah,
have some space to be honest, and this is an honest place. And if they don't like it and they decide to fire me, well, then sorry.
yeah.
Because ultimately, I mean, the job market, the whole job idea to me thing is just stupid. Like I don't know. The older I get and the more I learn about the universe and realizing that I'm an adult now and I don't know anything. Do you
Yeah.
know anything?
I know what I've taught myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what I've had to try to forget over the shit that's been taught to me throughout my lifetime.
Yeah, that's been a big one for me is trying to unprogram yourself from all the things that are stuck into you when you're a little kid, like all this programming and weird little things that you weird little defense mechanisms and shit that you've developed that have turned into these crazy monsters.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the attitude there as far as like the people? I mean, what is their outlook on the world? Is it a positive feeling there? Is it a very depressive, negative feeling like you get in a lot of big cities?
I would have to say yes and no. It's there is a very positive feeling here. I felt it the moment I drove into the state. you just hit like this pocket of energy and you feel more positive as you're here.
Yeah,
It's a really, really great place. But at the same time, there's also a big homeless issue here.
that makes sense.
And yeah, and the police here treat the homeless people like shit.
Well,
Like
that's
absolute
unfortunate.
shit. There's actually a ban, there's a camping ban over here, and the police like to raid tents at about 5 in the morning during the blizzard and tell homeless people they need to leave and go somewhere else.
Wow, man, that's
Yeah.
kind of shit. I mean, if you all right, so here's my primary argument with that is that I mean, a lot of these people the a good portion of them need mental assistance,
Hmm.
and there's a few of them, at least from my experience, that are there by choice. They don't see a point anymore. They're happier that way because I mean I'm not just saying I don't know how to say this. There are a select handful of the homeless people that are legitimately happy that they live hand to mouth like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of what they say makes a lot of sense to me, which is scary. Because all right, so I had a guy on. He works with an organization in Australia that is working on AI,
Uh-huh.
and his ideas. I mean, we talked about simulation theory and all this kind of good stuff, but if you expand upon the current ideas surrounding AI, it looks like robotics and everything is going to take over our workforce. Basically, all of the things that we do labor wise is going to be done in robotics and AI. And what will
Yeah.
be our purpose after that? How many homeless people or people without jobs will you have then?
It's the Industrial Revolution all over again.
Right, exactly. But what are you going to do with those people? Because money's become a very important part of our system. It's how we motivate ourselves to succeed and provide ourselves with food and shelter and
Well, I think that's more of a case of the culture not evolving with the technology. 'Cause,
well,
I mean,
yeah,
technology
most
is
definitely.
supposed to free man from his burdens, but it's not freeing him. It's more enslaving somebody, and it's the same fuck the rest.
But most definitely. But you also have places like I think it's Sweden. Forgive me. It's I'm pretty sure it's Sweden. Anyway, but there's a place in Sweden that they're doing. They give the people basically a stipend to cover their housing and food, like basic necessities,
Mhm.
and everything else like is up to them. I think they just started doing it, but that makes a lot of sense to me, which is
Uh,
very socialist, but it makes a lot of sense.
that is very socialist. It makes sense in some ways. I particularly wouldn't want any kind of assistance like that. I would rather government and everybody stay the fuck out of my life, stop robbing my paychecks. I don't want to have to pay for anybody else's shit. Just let me take care of my own.
Oh, I agree, but what if we could evolve the idea of what? Do you think it's possible to evolve a good government?
Uh, if you look at history, it probably will tell you no.
This is very true.
I mean, America was really only free for a very, very short amount of time.
Well,
And
what about the idea? I mean, all right, so the AI takes over or whatever. Nobody has any jobs and everybody's free to do whatever. But I mean,
well, to me, AI is already taken over.
oh yeah,
This,
that's.
this entire country is filled with artificially intelligent people.
Oh my god. Yes, exactly. That's a one thing that terrifies me is also the coming developments in uh, health technology, like printing organs and all that kind of crazy shit. That's going to extend our lives even further. We already have enough idiots. Can we please stop? Like, death is okay, people. Just stop for a minute and think about the implications you're going to have of saving that many more fucking people on the planet.
Yeah, but then think about the Chinese black market. What they're going to do, and you can just print organs out of nothing, basically.
Well, that's also true, but For fuck's sake, what an interesting time. So the idea behind simulation theory that I really enjoyed was that we are just a part of a simulation within a simulation within a simulation, like so many simulations deep, because that's more likely a choice than anything else. Yeah, so that's pretty crazy. But the reason I like it is, I mean, that would basically mean that all of this is made up and it's bullshit and none of it really matters.
Uh,
What do you think?
I don't really buy into simulation theory all that much. I mean, I consider it as a possibility because I can't exactly disprove it. But to say that everything's just a simulation, I don't know. That makes me kind of sad.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, it's kind of beautiful because we don't know. I mean, because ultimately everything's made up and nothing matters, which I think is kind of fun.
Yeah, it can be fun in that way, but
I'm not saying like don't pay your bills and shit like that, like, but
yeah, it's a pretty shitty simulation we got going on right now.
right. But I think we can make it a better place. Like I think if it's a simulation and we don't all have to be dicks. Like there's even if it's all just a simulation. Either way, we really don't know. We really never will know. But I don't know. The idea that that's a possibility and it has to be considered as a legitimate possibility because really no one has any idea. That's wonderful to me because it could mean all manner of crazy, insane things. The universe could be, just a infinite representation of an atom that's inside a ball of one guy, like Mr. Joe Rogan says.
Yeah, could be.
I don't know. So what do you think, man? Who do you think for president? It's Trump, right? I know you want Trump.
Oh man, fuck Trump.
How can he seriously be still being considered?
I don't fucking know, man.
Well, I think I get it though, because if you look at how the Republican Party tends to operate, they tend to try to out conservative one another in the primary. And the thing is that Trump has out conservatived everyone, and everyone's too afraid to out conservative Trump because that's crazy territory.
Yeah, I haven't. I've tried my best not to pay attention to the elections as much as I can this year.
Mm-hmm.
I've been basically saying since last year that the 2016 elections look like a "How Dumb Is America" game show, really.
Yeah, it's true. But what do you think about Bernie?
Fuck Bernie.
Fuck Bernie? Why fuck Bernie, man?
Oh, free college.
Yeah, why not? All the other countries in the world are doing it. It's good stuff.
Who's going to pay for the free college?
Why does it have to cost anything?
Department of Education.
Okay, why does that have to exist?
Because they make a fuck ton off of student loans.
Oh, I get that, but I mean, what about the colleges they're not really accredited or anything like that? But colleges like Udacity, or I think there are like 2 or 3 others that are just doing free courses. I think Udacity is MIT professors even.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that they already have free college online. You can actually go and learn anything you really want.
Right.
You're just not going to get a piece of paper that you can throw into somebody's face at a job, say, hey, pay me a shit ton of money because I have this thing.
Right, but I don't think that. I think ultimately the idea of money is going to go away, and you can't do anything with that. I mean, pay me a shit ton of money is not going to mean anything. It's going to be, hey, I want to educate people on how to do X, Y, or Z, and you go and you do it, and you get a little bit for it, and that's fine because all of your other expenses are taken care of by the support structure that you've built and contribute to. Or do you think that humans are incapable of working that way? Because that's how I tend to see it sometimes.
For the most part, the way society is now, I don't think anything's going to be given away for free. Nothing is free. I mean...
I agree, but I think that... All right, so I think everyone in the planet, we can agree on several basic things. We all want, shelter, food, water, and we tend to want, it doesn't have to be like, top shelf. but it has to be
No.
livable and decent. We
Yeah.
still have to maintain our dignity. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think there are just simple, basic things that we all want. We all want to be free from danger and not have to worry about other people. And I think that our current incarnation of government tends to overlook a lot of the details of the things that they do because they're supported by other negative interests, let's say.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you don't realize now that government is bought and paid
Oh,
for.
yeah. So the thing I do like about Bernie is he is for getting money out of politics.
I don't believe anything that comes out of a politician's mouth.
Makes sense.
And this is a guy that's.
Oh, I agree, but we still got to put one of the shitheads in there, and
Do we? Do we really?
maybe not. What else are we gonna do? How are you gonna organize enough people to prevent that from happening?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the problem. Like, so it's sort of like the way I like to picture of it is it's a slow rolling wave, and in order to change the direction of that wave, you sort of it's not an easy process. You sort of have to slowly start to steer it from the inside as best you can. Raising awareness, talking about bullshit, that's kind of a way to do that.
yeah, I know. I've been doing that shit for fucking years.
Yeah. But so that's just my idea. I don't know.
Oh. Yeah. I really don't know either. I mean, people are stuck in this two-party system. I mean, you're raised in it. You grew up in it. People don't really see another way out. It's either this or that, choosing the lesser of two evils,
I agree.
who has the cleanest smelling shit. Let's vote for that guy. Yeah.
Well, that's one thing I would like to see change is the people that go up there. I would like to see them actually stand on things like, they ask him about some personal. Oh, did you sleep with a hooker? Oh, yeah, I totally did. I was, 21 and newly single or whatever. It doesn't matter. He slept with a hooker. So what? I want somebody with life experience and somebody that can own up to any. Like, who cares if someone slept with a prostitute or, happened to do drugs when they were younger or, used to drink themselves stupid? Who cares about any of that if they are currently a good and valued person? If their ideas still stand well on how, government should run, it shouldn't matter what their personal life is. As long as it's not illegal, of course.
In that case, you should vote for John McAfee.
I do kind of like John McAfee.
Oh, I love John McAfee.
Yeah, but we all can't be John McAfee, even though we might, dream about it. So if anyone is unfamiliar with John McAfee, it's been a while since I read this story, but it was pretty fascinating. He ran away to, let me see, where did he live? It's like some.
I want to say I think it's Belize.
Is it Belize? It is Belize. I'm almost positive it's Belize. And he got in trouble for something, and they wanted to expedite him, but Belize wouldn't expedite him, so he stayed there.
Yeah, they. From what I can remember, they sent him a letter saying that he owed them a bunch of money, and he didn't want to pay for it, so they basically fucked his shit up.
Wow.
And he was on the run.
Yeah, I remember something like. Let's see, John. Let's see what happened to his ass.
He's on the Libertarian Party candidate now.
Is he really? Is he running? Seriously?
McAfee 2016, man.
That's crazy. What about was it Vermin Supreme? What about him? That's my candidate.
Oh, everybody should have a pony.
Everybody should have a pony. Come on, that's a solid platform.
Better than the fake ass "Make America Great Again" bullshit that fucker's trying to play.
Trump, man, I don't understand it. I don't get it.
I don't understand it either. Depending on how much I smoke, I'm either watching a circus or a train wreck.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how that works.
I kind of see this outside world and how it's going. I'm just like, yeah, I'm kind of taking care of my own shit and just preparing for the worst.
Yeah, yeah, I kind of get that. So do you? What do you think, man? Do you think anything bad out there is coming, or are you just sort of?
I mean,
Uh,
besides who the next president's gonna be.
no, I've I don't know. No, I've sort of taken a. I used to have like this real paranoid view about the whole end of the universe and all that kind of, or the fall of civilized man, and I had this real paranoid outlook. And now I've just sort of relaxed into it. And like, yeah, if it happens, it'll be an interesting trip until its end. I'll either survive or I won't. I can prepare if I want to, but do I really want to live in that reality? So I've got sort of a passive idea of preparing for the apocalypse. So I've got, like reasonable stuff that we would keep around the house in the event of hurricanes, because that's what we get around here. A couple weeks food and water, a handgun.
Yeah, that is something that I have not yet gotten.
Right.
But,
But I'm not insane about it. I don't have a small arsenal, and I don't have a bunker I've built anywhere yet. So I would like to have one just because that'd be cool as shit. Even if nothing happens, it'd just be cool.
Come out here, get your house, and make your basement a bunker.
Yep, that's it. That's the idea. So the problem there is cost of housing has gone through the fucking roof out there.
So I've heard.
Yeah, rent too damn high. Whatever wherever that meme came from.
Yeah, I think it was the Shane Berman guy, huh?
Yeah. No, I get it, but it's very, very applicable. I think it's all the people. I mean, I don't know. It's a thought, man, but I've got to get to the point where, you see, ultimately, I don't want to do the corporate rodeo anymore.
Oh yeah, I totally understand that.
So in trying to escape, I've got to find something that makes money because I do have a wife and children. So I do have to have a way of supporting them. And at the same time, I want to do something I'm going to enjoy. And this was what I'd be doing anyway. So I figured I'd do this and record it, turn it into a podcast. If people like it, great. They want to support it, great. If they don't, that's fine too. Whatever. Don't scroll on, watch. Leave a comment. Fucking come on the show and tell me to my face. Either way, I don't give a shit. I'm just trying to do something to support my family,
Yeah.
Something I enjoy doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you want to do it, you got to do it.
Exactly. And once it, if he does get to the point where it's making money, fucking great, because I'll step away from the corporate world happily. And I'm not even looking to live, cushy or anything like that. I'll as soon as I can afford my base level bills in doing just this, that's what I'm doing. Just this.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of my idea for doing t-shirt designs. It was, I was into art when I was a younger kid, and then I had to grow up and get into this whole corporate world thing that kind of fucked me up for the longest time. I just completely dropped off doing art.
Yep.
And then at the end of my 20s, when I lost that job, I went ahead and decided to go ahead and pick that back up. Figured if it makes money, it makes money. If not, it doesn't.
Yeah, man. So that's a thing you do still have, correct?
Yes, I do. I haven't really done anything in the past month and a half. I'm kind of working on some different creative projects right now.
That's fine.
But yeah.
So tell us about it, man. How can the good people that listen to my show get to your t-shirt business?
I have some up on Redbubble. They can search Hybrid Mind Art, and also Designed by Humans.
I like that name, Designed by Humans.
Oh, well, that's the website, designedbyhumans.com.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, it's you can search Hybrid Mind Art on there too and find some.
Fantastic. Well, how are things going, man? Like, it sounds like it was a pretty rough transition.
Yeah, it was. It's been touch and go pretty much since I got here. I was living in a hotel when I first got here. My ex, who we was having issues with, she actually ended up coming out here too, and she got a job. We ended up kind of getting back together for a little bit. That's how I met the roommate that I'm with right now. She was working with the guy, and we needed to get out of the hotel that we were in. So we ended up shacking up with this dude, and things didn't go too well with me and her again later on down the line, and she ended up leaving, and I was stuck here with no job and rent due, and I got a lucky break and ended up getting picked up by Lockheed Martin in Littleton,
Nice.
which yeah, that was a pretty cool place to work at. It was the space systems place, so they were working on all the GPS satellites. It was a really, really cool place to be at. They had all the mock satellites and all the different buildings. It was really awesome.
Very cool.
Um, did that for a little bit, but had some bad luck with that job too. The temp agency that hired me through there was having trouble getting my paychecks to me, and by the second paycheck, I had no more money to go to work. So I called my boss up and say, hey, look, they still haven't gotten me my paycheck. I'm out of cash. I can't borrow any money from my mom or anything like that. I just can't come in today until they pay me.
Right.
Well, next day, I'm to find out they're letting me go.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah. So there I am again, stuck with no job. Rent's due pretty soon. Ended up getting a call for a job that was actually just right down the road from where I live at. And it's another temp job, but I've been having this for about 6 months now.
Well, good.
It's just a laptop rollout program. But they've been having so many issues getting the laptops to them that the job just keeps getting extended more and more.
Well, good, man. I hope it lasts for you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to last another month or two until something else
So,
comes along.
so one of the things my wife does, she runs a framing company out of the other half of our house, and her mother is a well-established artist. So
Nice.
if you have any art that you want interested in putting up, let us know. Granted, it's on her decision, but just an idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. I'll definitely keep that in mind.
Yeah. So yeah, so what kind of art do you do? Just curious. Is it all just for shirts, or do you do anything?
It's mostly all been digital art now for just t-shirt designs.
Okay.
Um, it's kind of I shift between political art and just general nerdy feel-good art because
Yeah.
you can't make just shit all the time.
Of course. Of course. It's
You gotta,
great to make a statement, but sometimes that statement needs to be I'm not wearing underpants.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have fun with it too.
Of course. I like the idea of well, yeah, it has to be fun. It can't all be slogging through the bullshit, fighting the system, man.
Although I have wanted to do a Donald Trump and a Bernie Sanders one, but I haven't done any yet.
Oh, you need to get on that, man. If that's what happens, come on, wait
I've
for it.
already got a Hillary Clinton one.
Okay. Yeah, if
Yeah,
that's what happens, you want to get on that as soon as that they figure out who they're gonna go. Who's going up against who.
yeah,
The douchebag of the turd sandwich.
yeah. I kind of took the winter off with doing a lot of creative things because the year of hell that I've been through.
I understand. Sometimes you gotta make that paper.
Oh yeah, I unplugged from the world and just started gaming just for the whole about 3 months.
Nice. I don't know, man. Something about gaming, it doesn't it can't hold my attention like it used to.
It certain games
Yeah, it
can.
depends on the game. Depends on the game,
It
really. So
really
what were
is
you
a thing.
playing?
I was playing Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Okay, all right. I hadn't played that one.
Oh, it is awesome.
I
It
played Black
is.
Flag, and that was all right.
I haven't played Black Flag yet. The last one I played before this one was Assassin's Creed 3 for PlayStation 3,
Okay.
and that game fucking sucked ass. I hated it. It was so glitchy and buggy when I first got it because I pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
It was unplayable for the first fucking day. I was pissed. I've never pre-ordered a game after that, but I slaved through it, and it was the worst of the series so far that I've played. Assassin's Creed Syndicate is so much better though. They did a damn good job on this game. The
Well, that's good.
graphics look great in it. The gameplay's amazing.
I've been playing a lot of indie games.
Oh, really?
Yep. Or I've also been into space sims recently, like Elite Dangerous, Star Citizen, stuff like that.
I haven't checked those out.
Yeah, man, they're super, super awesome. All right, so the problem with them is they're all. So Elite Dangerous got boring really fast. Because basically you're a space trucker for a long time. And you're space trucking around. You make the most amount of credits doing like cargo, but it's beautiful. Like the sound effects are really well done. It's beautiful landscape, and like it's wonderful to fly a spaceship. But it gets old kind of quick. And there's also combat, and so you're a space trucker for a while. You get some funds. You buy a combat ship. You completely outfit it, and you blow some things up. And that's you're just kind of like, okay, what next? And so I don't know what else they can do with it. They did a like a multiplayer kind of thing, CQC, close quarters combat. So you got these small little zippy fighters, and you're flying around. That was pretty fun. That was enjoyable for a little while. But again, like you play an hour or so, and I'm just like, okay, what else you got?
Yeah.
And with Star Citizen, I think they're trying to actually build a story. But there's nothing like to it right now. You can like fly some of the ships, and there's a combat simulation, and there's like a lobby where it's like a little city you can sort of walk through. So they seem like they have a really cool idea because you get to play a character.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure.
Closest thing I've come to playing something like that would have to be Star Trek Online.
Fair enough. Well, I've also been playing like a lot of little indie games like Don't Starve. Let me see. What was the most recent one? It's like Total Annihilation or something like that. It's ridiculous. Let me see. Critical Annihilation. That's it. And it's just like stupid, simple little games. I did play the fuck out of Fallout 4.
I have not played any of the Fallout series yet.
Oh, Fallout's good. Fallout's real good. I enjoy Fallout.
Were you a Transformers fan growing up?
Let me see. I didn't really get into Transformers so much. I got into Beast Wars for a while.
Beast Wars?
Yeah.
Well, there's a new Transformers game called Transformers Devastation, which is really fucking fun. It's basically like you're playing through an 80s cartoon show.
Oh, that's awesome. Have you seen Kung Fury?
Yeah. No, I have not.
Oh my God, go watch Kung Fury. It is all of the 80s in your face, man. It is all of the 80s. It's great.
Oh, that sounds nice.
It's wonderful. It beats you over the head with the 80s. It's fantastic. It's got.
Speaking of 80s, have you seen Turbo Kid?
Yeah, I love Turbo Kid.
Oh, you seen Turbo Kid?
Oh yeah, Turbo Kid was a shit.
I love that movie.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was probably the best movie I saw all last year.
Yeah, it was great. I think somebody picked up Kung Fury. You can like watch it on YouTube. Like it's free. It's like 30 minutes. But I think somebody picked him up, and they're gonna do like a sequel to it, like Kung Fury 2 or something. But they're gonna make it like full length. I think that'll be really cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think it might have even been Netflix. Like Netflix has been doing that a lot recently. They've been picking up their shows.
Yeah, they have. I haven't really watched any of their shows. None of them really caught my attention. I'm not the kind of person that watches Orange is the New Black.
No, I tried Orange is the New Black for one of the women in my life's benefit, but I couldn't get into it. Like when it first came out, it was like no, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I guess, but I've heard a lot of really good things. I really don't have a lot of time to watch a lot of shit.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like I work during the day, and then I come home, and I've got wife and kids, and I spend time with them, and help with homework, and make dinner. And by the time it's over, like we've been watching The Walking Dead. Like, but if we're watching a show, that's all we're watching. Like we'll watch just that show, like an episode or two a night, forever, which is kind of cool because you get to watch everything on a delay, and you have all of it.
Yeah.
Time is just an illusion, man. It's just how we're perceiving things. You gotta realize that we're actually not. We don't really exist at all in the way that we think of ourselves. Our real selves are existing in the future, and they're leaving us clues to the method of giving us perceptions through sight and sound and hearing. And all of those things are really just clues from our real selves. We're existing backwards from clues from our real self in time. Because there's a delay with all of our senses.
Yeah, there's like an eighth of a second delay in everything.
Yeah, so think about that. Ha.
So we're all psychic.
Yeah. So what are your ideas on psychedelics, my friend?
Psychedelics are a wonderful tool to have.
I think so too. I think that they helped me pull my own head out of my ass.
They helped me too. I can say that definitely.
And it took a relatively uncomfortable experience in order for me to pull my own head out of my ass.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. Like, I watched myself. All right, so I will admit, the first time was terrifying. Every time after the first time, it was cool because I knew it was happening. So a good maybe half dozen to a dozen times, it showed me dying in some horrible, horrible way.
Wow.
And the first time after I died, I'm rolling down this sort of conveyor belt, and there are these machines above me, like taking pieces out of me. And I this is a heroic adventure. 5 grams.
Yeah. Oh.
So 5 grams, and complete and total darkness. Just close my eyes, put a blanket over my head, and listen to either music or silence for a good 6 to 8 hours. And just experienced whatever it wanted to show me.
Nice.
And so I saw myself just taken apart. But after that, after every time it would show me dying in some strange, and horrific way, it was just like I didn't feel any pain. It was just sort of like just watch. Like, you're terrified of all of these things, but look, if this happens to you, are you okay? Yeah, you're okay. You're fine. So it took me all the way through to like ego death, like as bits and parts of myself were killed, and after each time I died, it showed me something beautiful. So after the first time, I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Just let it go. Let it die. So the biggest thing that it taught me, I think, is to just let go.
Nice.
Like you stop trying to control things. I mean, like, some things make sense. Obviously, you have to eat. You have to have a house, or there are people you care for. Some things make sense, but other things that you let into your life that let stress you, just let them go. And it's remarkably improved the quality of my life. I'm sorry?
Take care of what you can control and fuck the rest.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's just remarkable. And I don't know. So, even I'll get people that are mad at me about, various thoughts that I have. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm only half-hearted committed to reality.
Well, my experience was kind of similar to that. I had just came back from working the cleanup at in Grand Isle for the BP oil spill, and I'd been there for about 6 months, and that was not a place.
Yeah, I know quite a few people that have they work for the cleanup.
Yeah, that was an experience that I would not like to have again.
Yeah.
But anyway, I finally got back off that island, and I was back in Thibodeau. And I went shopping on the Silk Road at the time.
Yeah.
And found a nice price for only 3.5 grams. Wasn't 5. I didn't want to go 5 all the way, because I listened to a lot of Terrence McKenna talk about mushrooms before. I did a lot of research about mushrooms beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, that's you got to do some research, and if you at all possible, actually, if most people couldn't handle their first trip alone, if at all possible, get a sitter. If you can't get a sitter, you need to really be serious about your commitment to the experience, because it will take you to some weird places.
Yeah. But anyway, came in the mail. So tried to eat it. Didn't really care for the taste all that much.
Well, so here's the thing.
I went ahead and took
mine. I dare say, source, it doesn't cost me anything.
Well, that's good.
They would rather someone have a beautiful experience than, as long as you're not selling them. And obviously you're not like, yeah, I'll take 8 pounds.
Yeah,
Like, if you want to have an experience, it's fine. They're free, and I don't
that's
know.
pretty awesome.
It's amazing. Like, just the idea is beautiful, but also they're dried and powdered and they're crushed and put in these little gel caps. So all you do is just swallow the little gel caps, no taste or anything like
Oh,
that.
that's good.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, mine came in a bag. You could tell it was pretty much just pulled out, thrown in the bag.
Yeah,
So,
you got to. Oh, so they were they not even dried?
oh no, they were dry.
Okay.
Yeah, they just had some dirt on it. So I went ahead, washed everything off, threw it in a blender, put in some pomegranate juice, hit blend.
Yep.
Got me up a mushroom smoothie. Down that, and went ahead, popped on what album was it? Flaming Lips, the Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots.
All
Put
right.
that album on, and next thing I know, my experience was more. It shifted me from where I was in reality to this womb of what I guess I would call love. I was just surrounded by love and warmth.
Well, that was one thing
And
that really stuck out is after the ultimate feeling of the whole experience. Like I said, apart from that initial unsteadiness, the ultimate feeling of the whole experience was like being enveloped in or enveloped in this just warm, loving presence. Like, it was like
oh,
the
yeah,
universe.
yeah.
It was like telling you over and over again, the universe loves you. Everything's going to be okay. None of this matters. The
Yeah.
universe loves you. Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And that was the most beautiful thing in the moment. Like, I remember crying, thinking that, like, brilliant.
Oh yeah, that a lot of that happened.
But
But I remember being in there and then wondering, where am I? And then next thing you know, I was shown where I was at, and I'm in my room where I was. I can see myself dancing to the Flaming Lips. So I'm
Wow.
wondering, like, I wonder what I'm doing. And next thing I know, my consciousness is just like shifted back in my body, and I'm fucking crying.
yeah,
I'm like letting out all this pent up emotion that I've had for these past 6 months to a year. Everything that I kept up inside is just pouring the hell out of me. And there's nothing but like pain and everything I'm feeling. I'm just completely sad. I'm like, holy shit. And the next thing you know, I'm back in this womb of love.
yep. That's
Wow.
exactly that's a brilliant description, man. That's exactly what it's like.
And I was able to, when I wanted to, because I didn't want to spend the entire time in just that place of love. I
Right.
wanted to experience what I was going through with this trip. So every time that I look back and wonder where I was, I'm shot back there.
Well, that was one thing I really enjoyed about the experience is that I could talk to it. Like, it seemed to respond. Because there was a point in time toward the end of my experience as I was on the downslope. I got a phone call. I took the phone call. I talked for about 20 minutes. And the whole time on the phone call, I could feel it in the back of my perception going, hey, we're not done yet. Hey, we're not done yet. But I could be like, yeah, I know. Okay, just let me finish this conversation and we're good. So I finished my conversation and I had to go pee. And the whole time I'm telling it, like, look, just fucking wait. I'll be there. And then as soon as I laid down, put my headphones back in, like, it immediately just kicked my consciousness out into another fucking reality. So I liked that it listened. Like, it was...
Yeah, I didn't exactly have to talk.
Right. Well, I didn't really say those things out loud. It was more of a expression.
Internally?
Yes. It was more just like in my head, sort of just a hang on, I'm coming. I know you have more to show me. I'm going to let you show me, but just give me a minute. And
I plan on doing the big 5 grams this summer in the mountains.
I think you should. I definitely recommend it. It's changed my perspective. I used to be a very anxious person, and would go through extreme bouts of depression. And since my experience, I have virtually no anxiety, and my depression is gone. Like, I haven't had any.
Yeah.
I haven't had any. Like, they tend to come like every few months. I'd get that just a week or two of just being shit. It's just gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've battled with depression too, pretty much mostly my entire life.
Yeah.
And I can definitely say that after my first mushroom trip, yeah, depression's kind of, it's not exactly going. Like, I'll still get depressed from shit going on in the outside world, but what used to depress me before, that's completely gone.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm not saying like I still won't get down and upset about things in the world, but as far as the just the that dreaded feeling that
That black cloud that's been hanging
yeah,
over you for so
exactly.
long, that's just
It's just
gone.
sort of, yeah, exactly. It doesn't visit as often anymore, and when it does, it's nowhere near as severe, and I can easily or it's easier to brush it off.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that the legalization route for psychedelics is going to probably come about the exact same way of mushrooms being, you look at the LD50 rating of mushrooms and you've got to eat something like, some stupid amount. I forget what it is, but it's pretty high up there, just like a lot of different things. The LD50 for things that are perfectly legal is much lower.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're worried about lethality, well, then that. And if you're worried about, people taking them in the wrong place and time, well, there's definitely the possibility of that, which is why I think with psychedelics there needs to be, if you need to have it some sort of instructor or some sort of way to make sure the person taking place in the experience is ready for the experience, because
Oh,
it's
yes.
intense.
If I didn't spend all that time listening to Terrence McKenna and talk about mushrooms and look into what a mushroom trip was, not only physically but spiritually, like what's
Yes,
entailed with it, how much
and
you
that's
have to go into it with a certain amount of respect for the mushroom.
exactly, and that's something that I really wanted to experience. I think because in knowing what I wanted out of the experience and knowing what I wanted to
Going in
see
with
or wanted to
intention.
confirm in my own head,
Yes.
it showed me and helped me to achieve those goals.
Oh yeah,
Like, it'll
definitely.
show you, okay, well, here's where you're fucking up. And that's usually if you're having a bad trip or a negative experience. It's not, if you grit your teeth and roll through it, it's because it's trying to teach you something.
Exactly.
It's not it's not going to respond to you in a nice way if you try and fight it. If it's trying to teach you something, it's like a stubborn teacher. Um, just let it happen and take in the experience. Relax, let go, and watch it like a movie. Just detach and watch it
Yeah.
happen, and it will
Yeah.
teach you things.
Oh yeah. There's a certain level of giving up control in a way that you have to be comfortable with
Most
doing
definitely.
psychedelics. I've known people to freak the fuck out from smoking weed, and I
Yeah,
cannot see how that's possible.
I've done it.
But
I've done it myself. I've gone through
oh
panic attacks just on pot. Like, smoke a joint and flip my shit, like to the point where I've had to call people and like just to calm down. And but I guess because I would get too hung up on running away from the negative emotion is what
yes,
causes that. And I think, or at least what has caused it into me, I would try and run away from the negative emotion or the thing that any particular psychedelic or substance is trying to show me instead of facing it. And in that constant running away, it's constantly shoving it in my face, which is just basically a dirty spiral. It brings you to a very bad place. But if you, after taking a psychedelic or in working with them as I have through my life, um, I've learned that it's trying to just teach you something. If you just let it happen and stop running, it's gonna be fine and everything's gonna be wonderful.
oh yeah, definitely. The I would have to say that the time that I did acid, I don't think I really learned anything from it. Like it didn't really teach me anything like
No,
that.
acid for me
But
was all a
opened up.
visual trip.
Oh yes, yeah, definitely visual.
Yeah, the
It
mushrooms are more of an internal spiritual journey for me.
yeah, yeah. But Jesus Christ, this acid lasts so fucking long, man.
That's the problem with it. It just doesn't. It's like at a certain point you're just like, okay, I get it. Pretty colors
Yeah,
and the walls are. Can you just fucking stop, please? I'm tired of staring at gnomes. Fucking go away.
yeah. I dropped at like freaking 9 in the morning. I'm 12 at night. I'm like, I have fucking work in the morning. I need to get the fuck up. This needs to stop.
Yes. So I ended up breaking my buddy Gus's nose on acid.
Oh wow.
Well, he had this big, he had a music room and he had this big CD changer. Yes, we're 90s kids. CD changer. So it's got this, he's got, all of his CDs and stuff in there, and we both dropped acid. And I'm sitting on his couch, and he's got these two big, like, baseball trophies on either side of his couch. And I'm watching the trophies sort of dance, whatever, and the walls are breathing, and everything's good, nice and colorful. He's got a strobe light on, everything's wonderful. And that CD ends, and it switches to, like, death metal.
Ooh.
Which is okay for a very brief period of time. And then, like, I remember getting nauseous, and the walls started to tinge red, and I'm like, okay, I know what's happening. And I started bleeding, and I'm like, fuck. And then my buddy Gus gets in my face, and he turns into a demon.
Ooh.
And like he was just playing guitar or whatever, and thrashing around and enjoying the time. And I saw this demon in my face, and just out of extinction, it was either me or him. So I punched him in the face. And he had like turned on the lights. He's like, "Dude, what the fuck?" And I was like, you were a demon. I'm sorry."
I did not see demons during my acid trip.
Oh, I did. It wasn't pleasant.
I did see colors. See, I made a playlist before I dropped.
That's the best way to do it. Music is so much better.
Oh God, yes it is.
Music is amazing.
I saw it coming from my TV.
Yes.
Let me tell you, Chili Peppers looks amazing.
Yeah. I is it Synesthesia, I think is what it's called.
I was trying to think of that name, that word.
It's that's some amazing phenomena right there. Well, that's how a lot of the savants work. Is they see numbers as like these weird rotating shapes or stuff like that, and so they're able to do complex math in their head just because of the way they perceive things. So in some people it exists naturally, but with LSD it tends to break down those different sections between your brain, and I think there was a scan that showed that the brain is more. It opens up communication across places it's not usually.
Yeah, it removes filters.
Yes, exactly.
So
you get to taste color.
Yeah.
And,
which I was kind of thinking at one point about my mushroom trip.
Well, yeah, mushrooms gave me that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Mushrooms gave me that in that I could see, I don't even know how to describe it, because once you start to use words to describe tripping, it really doesn't work.
Yeah, you got to kind of paint it out.
But feelings had a visual substance. And there are certain geometric shapes inside your head when you're so far down the rabbit hole. All right, so basically what I saw was this giant whirling room of many facets, and each facet was its own feeling and emotion, and you could also go into that facet and it was a different universe or existence or reality.
Oh, that's cool.
And you could pop between all of these different places. It was insanity. And it was made up of itself repeated infinitely. So no matter how small you got or how large you got, it was the same thing, just repeated infinitely.
Wow.
Yeah, it was intense, and it was showing you, and the whole time I'm wrapped in this universal loving blanket. They're like, it's okay, this is reality, just don't worry about anything.
Nice.
So there were points in time where I was like, you know what, I don't want to come back. I just want to stay here. It was a beautiful and loving experience, and it was mind-blowing. Even the words, even describing stuff like that, especially to people who's never experienced it, they can't wrap their head around it. They don't get the idea. Like, it sounds stupid and silly to people that haven't experienced it. Even to me, it sounds stupid and silly, and I've experienced it.
Yeah, and I think it's something that psychedelics should be something that somebody should experience every few years. I think it's something that should be revisited.
Oh, I definitely think so. I've also tried here within the past month or so, for about 2 weeks, I did microdosing psilocybin mushrooms.
That's something that I've been trying to want to get around to experimenting with. Is microdosing.
It's really, really cool what it does. So it doesn't, I don't get to see anything weird or hear weird things. No weird any of that. I feel things a little bit deeper, which is kind of cool. But it's almost like my consciousness is pulled back just a little bit, so you get sort of a broader view about everything. So you're viewing things as if from a wiser position. Like you understand the implications of different social interactions or different things in a little bit broader of a scope. So you tend to let things go a lot easier. I don't know. It's a really interesting experience,
Yeah,
but it seems
I
to
feel
it's also one that's stuck around as well.
I've heard of people doing the microdosing with LSD. I haven't heard about it doing it with mushrooms yet, but I would actually
Yeah,
rather
the
try.
first time I heard about it was through mushrooms. I've only recently heard about people microdosing LSD.
Yeah. Next on my list has to be ayahuasca, though.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that. I want to go through the whole ceremony thing.
Me too. Me too. That's how I want to do it.
I really want to experience that. I think that would be beautiful and amazing.
I have done DMT briefly before.
That's a completely different animal.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, especially since I was on a different type of drug when I was on it.
Yeah, that had to be interesting.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend we were on Molly at the time,
Oh wow.
and she was having a great time and everything, and
What is it?
she
Candy
was going
flipping?
to
What is that? MDMA and acid is candy
uh,
flipping, I think.
yeah, MDMA and acids, candy flipping. I'm not sure what you would call MDMA and DMT.
I have no idea. Yeah, no idea, man. That would ugh.
Yeah, but she went to grab another cap for each of us and took from the wrong stash. Pop one, and I'm starting to notice like scan lines that you would see in the TV,
Yep.
but I'm seeing it through my vision.
Wow.
It's like, yeah, it's being projected out into the
Like,
world.
oh no, I'm breaking through the matrix.
In a way, yeah, because soon after that, you just start seeing digital numbers fly by.
Yeah. DMT is a weird animal.
And then it's like you sort of feel like you're kind of out of your body, but you're still in it with
Mhm.
all this stuff going on. And then it was kind of, I was back in my body and it was over.
So mine was like being blown through mine was like being made of glass and being blown through a tiny hole. Like superheated glass, and you ever watch glass expand as it's being blown? That's what it felt like, but it felt like that was my consciousness, so it was like a tiny hole in reality poked through in front of me, and like it squished my reality through that tiny hole. So I had no real body or anything. It was just a consciousness that was extruded through this tiny hole in the universe into the next one. And everything I'm experiencing, like these things that would just sort of like come up to you and they'd pass through you and kind of go away. And some people have described like them communicating with you and stuff like that. I never saw that. I did get the sense that they were alive or that they were their own thing in this sort of reality. And it almost felt like, so I don't know, it came on rather weird because it's like a rocket ship as far as psychedelics go.
Yeah.
Like mushrooms seemed to be, for me, it was a slow ramp up, whereas DMT was like like I said, it was like my consciousness was immediately exploded through this tiny little wormhole in the universe into another one. Yeah, and so it's basically full of these weird, strange creatures, and physics works differently there, and there are these strange.
See, that's the experience that I want to have.
I don't think you get them unless you're ready, because I've had other experiences where it should have done more to me than it did. Like, I've
Yeah, I
taken
think the
another.
fact that I was under another type of drug at the time that kind of fucked it up.
Yeah, I've taken another large dose of psilocybin mushrooms and had a completely different experience. Like, it was just completely different, and it wasn't as intense as the first one. Even though the preparations and everything I had done very much the same. So I don't know. So I think in part it knows when you're ready for something like that.
Makes sense.
Even though you say it, but it seems like it has its own consciousness, even though it could just be that you've taken this drug and somewhere inside your head exists your own consciousness, and it's separated out these different aspects of yourself. And I don't know,
Yeah.
there's many different ways of looking at it.
Well, yeah, that's like when I think back on my mushroom trip, it could be that it was this really spiritual experience that I had, and I was in this womb of God, basically surrounded by love. Or I could have had all this shit trapped in my brain, all this pent up emotional frustration and everything going on in my life. And what the mushrooms did was have my right brain talk on my left side of the brain, took my consciousness, put it in my subconsciousness while I was processing all this bad crap, and then brought me back. That could be what happened too.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. And there's really no way of
No, it
no
really
way of
isn't.
knowing. So if I choose that my experience with psychedelics was something meaningful and spiritual, and the only thing in my entire life that has ever come close to being spiritual,
Yes.
that's how I choose to take it. Does that mean that you shouldn't sleep with dudes? Like I don't care about that. I don't think the universe cares about that.
I don't think the universe cares about that either.
Yeah,
Your
there's a
parents
lot
might.
that I think that the crazy religious nut jobs try to put out there that I don't think the universe would
stop
give a shit.
trying to fucking control everybody's life. Just let people fucking do
Exactly.
what they want to.
That's what I think it
What kind of
should
fucking
be.
asshole does that shit?
I have no idea. I wish I knew. I just can't understand the mind of somebody that it's like, okay, this person is hurting no one, but I don't like that particular thing that they're doing, so I'm not going to let them do that anymore. Why? I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
people are
profitable for this
programmed.
other company that's putting money in my pocket.
Well,
Maybe it's
you know,
not. Maybe I'm
depends
just a
on
dick.
how
I have no idea.
it could be. To me, it's more of how that person's been programmed.
Well, that's true. It also could be, hey, this book was written a really long time ago by some people wandering around a desert, and they happen to think it was important. So I think it's important, too, because my parents told me it was, and their parents told them it was. And if you look at a different part of the world, well, it's a slightly similar story with just a different person. Different protagonist, that's all.
Yep.
I don't know. The world's a strange place. And maybe it's all just the Matrix. It's all made up.
It is strange, it is wonderful, it is beautiful, and it is also pretty shitty at the same time.
This is very true. This is very true. It's very hard to keep in your head all the beautiful, flowery, hippy-dippy things that psychedelics tell you in your head when you slog through the reality that you find yourself in.
Yeah.
It's like the shit stew that we're walking through is just like sticks to you, and every couple of years you need to go and have that psychedelic experience to really clean it all off.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way I feel about it.
Yeah, I think so. All right, man. That probably does us for an hour or 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, I was actually going to say I need piss.
Yeah, I understand. It happens that way sometimes, but I really appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah,
I'll
thanks for
let you.
having me, man.
It's not a problem, and I want you back. So whenever this goes up to air, I'll send you a link and let you know.
Cool. Thanks.
All right, man. You take it easy.
Yeah, man, you have a good night.
Yep.
Later.
Later.